Inhale, lift the arms up, fill your lungs to hold. And exhale. Really slowly bringing the arms back. And just resting your hands back onto your knees. Hopefully you feel a little tiny bit calmer now. And just keep that steady breath going throughout. Now just checking again that you've got the feet about hip width distance apart. We're going to fold our body forward. So imagine that you're bringing your stomach, your chest onto your knees. And with your hands, you might just touch the fingertips. I'm going to bring my screen down a little bit. So you might just touch the fingertips to your toes. Or you might be able to hold your fingers underneath your toes. Or maybe you can even get the whole hand underneath your feet. So toes are at the wrists. Wherever you are, just notice how your spine feels. You might feel a stretch in the lower back. Just let the back of your neck relax. So your head hangs down heavy. You might feel a little pinching in the hips. There's no need to push anything here. We're not trying to achieve anything in particular. Just keeping your breath steady. So wherever you are, just take one more breath here. Then releasing your hands or your fingers from your feet, slowly rolling up. Coming back to that straight spine position. Then we're going to cross the legs. So I'm starting with the right leg, bring the right leg over. And then when you've got the legs crossed, so thighs crossed, you can just adjust your feet so that the center won't be exactly center, but you'll feel that you're balanced. Just check that each hip is equally on the seat. If you've got the right leg on top, it'll be the left arm that comes across. Squeeze your stomach in. We're going to twist from the core. So bring the right arm round the back of your chair. Squeeze the stomach in, and you can use that right arm to pull you round. Again, we're not going for a really deep stretch. Most important thing is the alignment here. So check that you're not, I'll show you from the side. You can easily go here, and then we're not going to be getting the right twist. So the most important thing is to keep the pelvis tilted, keep the straight spine as much as possible. Squeeze the stomach in, feel that you're twisting right from your belly button. And then relax the neck, relax the jaw, and just turn your chin to look over your right shoulder. Coming back to the breath, check that you're breathing normally. And release the back arm. Coming back to neutral, swapping over your legs. Finding your center. Make sure you're sat on the chair evenly. So this time, if you've got the left leg on top, the right arm will come across. Squeeze the stomach in, so squeezing in at the belly button, and that's where you're going to twist from. The left arm holds around the back of the chair. Make sure as you twist that you're still sat evenly on the seat, so you're not coming off one side and leaning on one side of your hips. On your inhales, think about lifting up, growing taller. And on your exhale, see if you can twist just a tiny little bit deeper. It's not really about twisting, it's about finding space. Turning your chin to look over your left shoulder. Taking one more breath. And releasing the back arm. Coming back to center. And uncross your legs. And taking a breath. Now, depending on what sort of chair you have, if you've got a chair with arms, like an office chair, this might be a little bit harder. But if you can, do whatever you can to follow. So we're going to walk our feet to the left side of our chair. So everything is facing the left. Toes, knees, hips, shoulders. And then the right leg, so the front leg, whichever side you are, is going to come round. We're coming into like a seated warrior position. So see if you can get the ankle below the knee and the back knee stays straight. Both feet are flat on the floor. You can allow all of your weight to stay on the chair, so that's a bit different from a warrior in a normal yoga class. But just check in with your pelvis again. So you're probably going to be kind of back bending here. See if you can sort of change that so you're straightening the spine a bit. So the tailbone is lengthening down. And this will naturally open up your hips slightly to the front. Just check in again that the back knee is straight, both feet are flat. Open your arms out wide, parallel to the floor. You can turn your head to look over your left fingertips or whichever side where your knee is bent. Just reach out either side with the fingertips. So this is an active hold here, an active stretch. Again, coming back to the breath, you might feel your heartbeat rise slightly when you're activating all your muscles here. But keep the breath steady. And then with that front hand, the fingertips that we're pointing towards, we're going to reach, reach, reach. So you can see my body is leaning towards the knee. And then we're going to go into a triangle. So the left arm is going to rest on the left knee. Right arm, the top arm is reaching up. And you can turn your chin to look up towards the fingertips. So ideally we're looking for a straight line, so from the heel going up the leg, and then you can see my body making that line too. So it's easy here to rest into the shoulder, sinking into the shoulder. See if you can lengthen out of the shoulder so you're almost not putting any weight at all, ideally. Looking up towards those right fingertips. Coming back to the breath. Stomach squeezed in. You can squeeze the thighs here. Squeeze that back knee. Keep reaching up one more time. And then releasing the arms, so coming back to reaching out to the side. Let the arms come back down. Let your straight leg, so your back leg, come back to meet the other knee. And just coming back again to that straight spine position, which we come to after every pose. And then with your toes, you can just walk around to face the other side. So check that you're all the way around, toes, knees, hips, shoulders, all facing the right side now. Keeping the right foot flat there. The left leg is going to reach back. So we're in a lunge. But again, the right thigh, the right side of your bum is still just resting on the chair. And you can allow that. You don't need to be pushing off of it. And let your weight stay on the chair. But still squeeze the thighs. Try to straighten that back leg. And then coming back to the pelvis. So the pelvis, think of the tailbone lengthening down. Pubic bone lifting up. That will naturally open us out to face the front a little bit more. Reach the arms out. Fingertips reaching out to the sides. Turn your head to look at your right fingertips. Keep squeezing the stomach, keep squeezing your thighs. Keep growing taller, keep reaching out further to the sides. And holding it there, just come back to your breath. Breathing normally. Take a couple more breaths here. And then again, we're going to reach towards where we're looking, so towards the right. And then bending the right elbow, bring the right elbow to rest on the right knee. Left arm reaching up, looking up towards the fingertips. Keep squeezing both thighs. Keep that back knee straight. Remember, we're going for a straight line from the heel up to this left shoulder. You can test how strong you are by just seeing if you can lift that right elbow. Make sure you're not sinking into the shoulder, lifting out of the shoulder, reaching up one more time. And release, bring the arms back out to the sides. Arms down. Bring the left leg back to the right. And then walking back to the front. I'm sorry, anybody who couldn't join that completely because of maybe the chair that you're in. Just coming back to the neutral spine. Coming back to the position that we started in. Just checking in that we're not falling into the back of the chair. So another thing, we have our kidneys and our adrenal glands which sit on top here. If we've got this spine curve like this, then we're compromising the way that they can work. So remember I said we're not going to be able to breathe properly. We're also not going to be as hydrated if we're squashing the kidneys. So just changing those subtle things in your posture just keeps everything moving around, keeps the circulation. So just notice at this point if maybe that feels a little bit less effort already. Now with your left foot stays planted on the ground, lift the right foot up and see if you can bring the heel into the front of the chair. This might not be possible if you've got particularly tight hips. So you might just hold it in front. But if you can, just rest the heel on the front of your chair there. And again, if you can, wrapping the arms around and holding the opposite elbows. This is good for the digestive system. Just coming back to your breath here. See if you can still keep the chest lifted. So we don't want to lift the shoulders up and curl in here. We want to keep the shoulders back. Keep the chest lifted. Might feel a little pinching in your right hip there. Also see if you can keep both hips down onto the chair there. Or maybe you can't, but you can just notice how your alignment is today. Just taking one more breath. And then releasing your arms. Going to keep this right foot up. We're going to bring the ankle just across over the other side of your left knee. And let your right knee fall out to the side. So you might feel a little bit of stretching around the outside of your right hip here. If you're more experienced in yoga, or if you have the flexibility, you can bring that right foot up into like a half lotus position here. If not, you can just keep it there. And just relax the right hip. Allow the right knee to fall out to the side. Just take a breath here. Keeping the chest lifted, keeping the shoulders back. And then gently releasing that right knee. So be very careful with the knees. It's not something that you want to mess with. Let the right foot come back down. Check in again that we're starting from the center. So you've got both hips in one line. Before you lift the left foot up, bring the left heel to rest just at the front of the chair. Or like I said, you can hold it here. You've got the heel on the chair. See if you can keep that left hip down onto the chair still, or as close as possible. Keeping the chest lifted, shoulders wide, holding around, grabbing the opposite elbow if you can. If that's really comfortable to you, you can pull the knee towards the chest. Doing a really tight squeeze there. Keeping tall, keeping the chest lifted. Keeping the breath steady. That's the most important part of any yoga practice. You often hear, well, I often hear as a yoga teacher people say, I can't do yoga, I'm not very good at yoga because I'm not flexible. If it's possible to be good or bad at yoga, I would say being good at yoga is being able to breathe normally, whatever you're doing. That's really the aim. That's really when you've mastered it. Taking one more breath here. And then release your grip. And using your hands, bring your left heel to just cross over the right knee. Let the left knee relax down. Think about relaxing your left hip. So if you feel anything in your knee, just make sure that you keep it supported with your hands here and focus on relaxing the hip. So there shouldn't be any pressure in the knee here. And again, like I said, if you're more experienced in yoga, or if you have that flexibility, you can bring the foot into half lotus position. So that's the outside of the foot, sort of aiming towards the hip crease. And then letting the knee drop down. Make sure that your right knee isn't falling out to the side, and to be pushing down the right foot into the floor still. And you can just close your eyes here. Just mentally picturing your spine. Just check that it's still stacked on top of each other, each vertebrae. Chest lifted. Maybe lift the chin slightly. Our spine goes all the way up to the back of your neck. Let's take 2 more breaths here together. And then using your hands to very carefully lift the knee up before you bring your left foot back down. And just coming back to neutral again. Taking the breath. And I'm just going to turn to the side to show you the last few positions. Just making sure that you've got the knees in as much of a right angle as possible. The heels are below the knees. And check that the feet are facing forwards, you're not turning in or turning out. The pelvis is tilted forwards. Nice straight spine, shoulders back, chest lifted, chin lifted slightly. So sometimes it's a very common position when you're sat at a desk is like this. So it's no good. You might still have the lower back fine, but be like this. That's not very good in the long term. So lifting the chin slightly will often bring it back. Just notice as we go, this might start to feel actually more and more comfortable than it did when we first started. And then just holding the opposite elbows, squeezing the stomach in as you lift your arms up to frame your face. Inhale as you lift up again, inhaling, lift the chest. We're coming into a small back bend, so we're back bending the lower spine, letting the head fall back. It might not feel like you're going very far back, but you want to feel the chest opening, feel the chest lifting. You might feel a stretch in the front of the armpits here. Let the chin lift up and back. Just make sure you're not holding your breath. It's very easy. So it's quite common to hold your breath when you go into a back bend. Just keeping the breath steady. We'll hold it here for another 2 breaths. And then lifting your head back up. Chin tucking in. Releasing your arms. Bring your hands down gently. I'm just going to finish off with a couple of breathing exercises. So breathing exercises are really good to do after you've stretched out a little bit, because then everything is a bit more accessible. So as we bring the fresh oxygen in, it's going to really get the benefits to every area of our body. So we're going to start by holding, you can see me, depending on what kind of chair you have, you might hold at the front or you might hold at the sides of your chair. Whatever feels more natural, the chair that you're sitting in. And you might know the cat-cow breathing exercise in yoga. So we're basically doing that, but staying seated. So as we inhale, the back bending the spine, the chest pushes forward, lifting the chin up, eyes up as you inhale. And then exhale, curving the spine, concaving the chest, tucking your chin into the chest. Inhaling. Chest comes forward, eyes up, chin up, shoulders back. Exhale. Squeeze the stomach in, concave chest, chin tucked in. Inhale. You can keep doing this at whatever speed feels comfortable. You might want to keep it slow today. But you can also speed it up a lot. If you want to raise the energy in your body, speeding it up might help. Maybe keeping it slow today would be the best option, and just noticing where you can feel the movement, where you have access to. You can really fill the lungs completely as you lift up. And then really squeezing all the air out of the lungs as you squeeze back in, concaveing the chest. Keep it going. You can close your eyes here. So even just this in itself is a really good exercise that you might incorporate into your day, just for a little refresh. Take a couple more. And then when you're ready, coming back up to neutral, releasing the grip from your chair. Just finish off with one more exercise. We're just going to bring our energy up a little bit more to finish. Bring your arms out to the sides. And then keeping the elbows there, bring your fingertips to grip onto your shoulders as much as possible. Just check in that we've got the posture, so chest lifted, feet firmly on the ground. We're going to twist to the left as we inhale, and twist to the right as we exhale. Squeezing the stomach in, you'll feel the twist. You can go quite fast, so this really gets everything moving. Really pumps the oxygen around your body. It's also a good detoxifier. So even inhales, even exhales. You can close your eyes and relax your head. Allow your head just to flow with you as you move. And then keep going for 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center. Releasing your arms down. Bring your fingers, your hands and fingers back onto your knees. And close your eyes here. You might feel yourself spinning a little bit. Just notice how the energy feels in your body right now. Energy may well have increased just by sitting up straight for the last half an hour. Just bringing your attention to your heart space, the center of your chest here. If you'd like to, you can bring your palms together in front of your chest. Maybe just keeping your focus on that area. Just focusing on gratitude. You can do this by thinking of something that you're grateful for today. Maybe a few things, maybe lots of things. Just keeping that focus on those things that you're grateful for. You might start to feel some warmth, some energy in that area, in the center of your chest. Just keep your focus on that. This is a really healing energy. So just in this moment, you can allow any other stresses or worries just to melt away, just for now, just in this moment together. You can hold this here as long as you'd like to. We've come to the end of the session. So I hope that all of you might have one or two things at least that you can take away with you, maybe some postures that we did that you liked that you can remember and incorporate into your day. Thank you for joining.